3000万ベリーの賞金振りだ。さあ、それはどうか。政府はてめえの首を欲しがってるぜ。
Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Mi channel. Dragon is one of the most important characters in the One Piece world. He is the most wanted man on the planet due to his role as the leader of the only group that directly opposes the world nobles. However, he has never revealed his powers. No one knew the extent of his strength, at least until now, as I'm about to reveal everything to you. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit. So just comment which fruit you want. Guys, Monkey D. Dragon is undoubtedly one of the most enigmatic characters in One Piece. Since his first appearance in chapter 100 of the manga, he has been shrouded in mystery, both regarding his powers and his motivations. Given that he is the leader of the Revolutionary Army and Luffy's father, it's inevitable that his role in the story will become crucial at some point. Perhaps when Dragon finally takes action, he won't just reveal his true power, but will also directly influence the outcome of the fight against the world government. One of the most speculated aspects about Dragon is his power. I believe it could be connected to the weather, something that has been hinted at several times throughout the story. In chapter 100, when he saves Luffy in Logtown, a sudden storm prevents Smoker from capturing the protagonist. It might be a coincidence, but what if Dragon was the one who caused that climatic event? Additionally, in chapter 589, there's another suggestive scene when Dragon rescues Sabo. Once again, the weather seems to respond to his presence. If Dragon truly has the ability to control the weather, it would place him at a power level comparable to that of the Yonko. Dragon's power might be linked to a devil fruit, perhaps something like the Kumo Kumo no Mi, or an even rarer fruit that allows him to manipulate not just the wind, but also other climatic aspects like rain, thunder, and even cyclones. Such an ability would explain not only the weather-related events around him, but also his capability to lead a revolution against the world government. With such a destructive and versatile power, Dragon could easily decimate entire fleets of ships or bring down fortifications, giving the Revolutionary Army a significant advantage. Another point worth discussing is Dragon's relationship with Luffy and Garp. Despite being Luffy's father, Dragon seems to maintain a certain distance. In chapter 432, Ivankov asks Dragon if he's curious about what his son has been doing, but Dragon simply replies that Luffy's fate is something he must decide for himself. This shows that Dragon respects Luffy's independence, but it also raises the question of why he has never tried to get closer to his son. Perhaps Dragon sees the revolution as an absolute priority, or maybe he believes that keeping Luffy at a distance is a way of protecting him from the consequences of his own actions. Dragon's relationship with Garp is also full of mysteries. I think there's an untold story about how Dragon became a revolutionary. Perhaps he disagreed with Garp's ideals or witnessed something during his youth that led him to rebel against the world government. In chapter 440, Garp mentions Dragon almost casually, but with a certain level of frustration, suggesting that Dragon's choice caused a family rift. Hopefully, in the future, we'll see a flashback that better explains this dynamic and reveals more about Dragon's past. When it comes to the final battle against the world government, it's hard to imagine that Dragon won't play a significant role. The Revolutionary Army is the largest organized force opposing the government, and Dragon is its leader. I believe he may ally with Luffy and his allies, perhaps at a crucial moment when all necessary forces are gathered to face Imu and the Gorosei. With his power to control the weather, Dragon could level the playing field against the apocalyptic weapons the world government seems to possess, such as ancient kingdoms and ancestral weapons. Considering what we know about Dragon so far, I'd like to share a deeper theory about his powers and how they might connect to a mythical animal that symbolizes freedom and strength, reinforcing his direct opposition to the world government. This power might not only make him a figure of great influence on the battlefield, but also a living metaphor for his role as a revolutionary leader, reflecting the very symbolism of his army's name, the Revolutionary Army. First, we know Dragon is a marine deserter, someone who likely had a different perspective on the world government in his youth. Something drove him to rebel, perhaps a shocking revelation or the realization that the government's oppressive practices were wrong. This moment of rupture led him to become an enemy of a corrupt system, and perhaps also pushed him to seek power beyond natural means. If Dragon was indeed a former Marine, it wouldn't be surprising if his journey of rebellion against the government involved a connection to a supernatural entity or power. Focusing now on what Dragon's power might be, we could speculate about a possible devil fruit that perfectly fits his profile. Remember, Dragon's power is supposedly related to controlling the weather, but taking this idea deeper, deeper, it could involve a mythical creature symbolizing freedom and resilience, with a direct connection to nature and the environment, something widely represented by certain mythological creatures across cultures. Considering South American indigenous mythology, particularly from Incan and Mayan cultures, there's a fascinating legendary being called Quetzalcoatl. In Aztec mythology, Quetzalcoatl is depicted as a feathered serpent, a deity associated with wind, storms, and fertility. It symbolizes freedom, as it is a creature capable of ascending to the skies, representing both air and control over natural forces. Quetzalcoatl is also a symbol of rebirth and change, which aligns perfectly with Dragon's fight against the world government. He seeks to destroy the old system to allow a new world to emerge. In the context of a devil fruit, it's reasonable to imagine that Dragon might have eaten a mythical zone that transforms him into a creature associated with wind and storms. Possibly a mythical version of the feathered serpent or something akin to it, granting him control over the weather. With a devil fruit related to Quetzalcoatl, or a variation of this mythology, Dragon would gain the ability to manipulate the weather more powerfully than previously suggested. He could not only control wind and storms, but also communicate with natural forces, invoking lightning, devastating storms, and even creating catastrophic weather phenomena like cyclones. Such an ability would be a powerful weapon against any oppressor, such as the world government, and would fit perfectly with Dragon's role as a revolutionary leader. With this power, he could destroy naval bases or entire fleets of ships with just a gesture, summoning storms that obliterate enemies. This could also explain why the weather around Dragon seems to respond to his presence. Perhaps he has a direct connection with the natural forces of the world. Moreover, Dragon's transformation into a mythical creature through a mythical zone fruit would explain his incredible resilience and durability. As we've seen with Luffy and his rubber fruit, devil fruits grant a unique advantage, and Dragon could use this to withstand attacks that would be fatal to others. The strength of Quetzalcoatl, represented by its control over the wind and its ability to endure intense and devastating battles, would mirror Dragon's capacity to fight the world government with primal power, tying him to the concept of freedom. This connection to Quetzalcoatl also reflects Dragon's vision of freedom, something he has championed throughout his journey as the leader of the Revolutionary Army. Quetzalcoatl is a deity associated with freedom and resilience, and Dragon, with his own vision of liberty for all, embodies that spirit. This strengthens the idea that Dragon doesn't just fight against tyranny, but is, in a way, a natural force himself, almost as if he were the wind or storm sweeping away oppressors. When the time comes and the destinies of father and son inevitably collide, Dragon and Luffy might join forces. Dragon's power, with his control over the weather, could provide the final push needed to break through the world government's last defenses. If Dragon indeed possesses a mythical zone fruit like Quetzalcoatl, he will be an unstoppable force capable of changing the course of history. Just like the storms he can summon, his presence on the battlefield will signal that the world is about to change forever, with the revolution finally triumphing. In the end, Dragon is not merely a revolutionary figure seeking to overthrow the world government, but a living embodiment of freedom itself. His power, vision, and determination are the catalysts that could transform the world into something new, fairer, and freer. With the revelation of his true strength and mysterious past, Dragon might prove to be one of the most important figures in the One Piece universe, and his connection to a mythical creature that controls the weather and wind only makes his story more fascinating and symbolic. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.